She had everything money could buy, an enormous house, a luxury car, a successful company, and a life most people could only dream about. But on the night of her blind date, she was about to discover something money could never purchase. When the restaurant doors opened and a tired single father walked in holding the hands of 3 little boys, the billionaire woman almost walked away. She had expected a confident businessman. Instead, she saw a man carrying a diaper bag, a backpack, and the weight of 1,000 responsibilities. But she had no idea that this unexpected date would change both their lives forever. Before we begin, make sure you subscribe to Kindness Story, leave a like, and tell us in the comments what you would have done if you were in her place. Your support helps us share more stories about kindness, hope, and second chances. Emma Carter was 38 years old and one of the wealthiest women in Chicago. She had built her technology company from a tiny office into a multi-million-dollar business. Newspapers called her brilliant. Business magazines called her fearless. People who knew her personally called her kind. But there was one thing Emma hated being called: lonely. Her friends constantly tried to arrange dates for her. Emma always refused. She believed most people were interested in her money, not in her heart. Then one evening, her best friend Sarah convinced her to try a blind date. Just one dinner, Sarah said. No business talk. No interviews. Just 2 people getting to know each other. Emma reluctantly agreed. The date was scheduled for 7 o'clock at a quiet Italian restaurant downtown. At exactly 7, Emma sat at a corner table wearing a simple black dress. She checked her phone once, then placed it face down. 7:15. 7:30. Then the restaurant doors opened. A man rushed inside carrying a little boy in his arms. 2 other boys followed closely behind him. The man looked exhausted. His shirt was slightly wrinkled. His hair was messy. One boy was holding his hand, while another carried a small toy truck. Emma immediately knew. This had to be her date. The man spotted her and froze. Emma? Yes. I'm Daniel. I'm so sorry. He looked at his 3 sons. I had a babysitter, but she had an emergency. I tried calling you, but my phone died. Emma stared at the boys. The youngest looked about 3 years old. The other 2 were perhaps 6 and 8. Daniel swallowed nervously. I understand if you want to leave. Honestly, I probably should have cancelled. Emma looked at the children again. The youngest boy had fallen asleep against his father's shoulder. For a moment, she thought about walking out. But then she remembered something her mother used to tell her. You never know what someone is carrying behind their smile. Emma smiled gently. Why don't you sit down? Daniel looked surprised. Really? Really? They ordered dinner. The boys were nervous at first, but Emma soon noticed something. Daniel barely touched his food. Every few minutes, he cut his sons' meals into smaller pieces, wiped their faces, checked their drinks, and made sure they were comfortable. You haven't eaten much, Emma said. Daniel smiled. I'm used to making sure everyone else eats first. Emma's heart tightened. She learned that Daniel's wife had died 3 years earlier after a long illness. Since then, he had raised his 3 sons alone while working full-time as a maintenance supervisor at an apartment complex. He wasn't rich. He wasn't famous. He didn't own a fancy car. But he had something Emma rarely saw in wealthy circles. He was completely devoted to his children. During dinner, the oldest boy, Noah, accidentally knocked over his glass. Water spilled across the table. Daniel immediately apologized. But Emma simply laughed. It's okay. Happens to everyone. Then she grabbed some napkins and helped clean it. The boys stared at her. You're not mad? Noah asked. Why would I be? Daddy says accidents happen. Emma smiled. Your daddy is right. For the first time that evening, Daniel smiled without looking embarrassed. After dinner, Daniel stood. Thank you for staying. I know this wasn't what you expected. Emma looked at him. No. It wasn't. He lowered his eyes. But I'm glad it happened. Daniel looked up. Emma continued. I think I would have missed something important if I had left. The next morning, Emma received a message from Daniel. Thank you for last night. I'm sorry it was so chaotic. Emma replied. I've had much more expensive dinners that meant much less. Over the next few weeks, they began seeing each other. But Emma never tried to impress Daniel with money. Instead, she learned about his life. She helped Noah with a school project. She played soccer with 6-year-old Ethan in the park. She read bedtime stories to little Lucas. And slowly, something beautiful happened. Daniel's sons began to trust her. One rainy afternoon, Emma arrived at Daniel's apartment and found him sitting at the kitchen table with unpaid bills spread in front of him. Daniel quickly tried to hide them. But Emma noticed. Are you okay? He sighed. My apartment building is changing management. They're cutting staff. I may lose my job. Emma knew she could solve the problem with one phone call. But she also knew Daniel's pride. So she didn't offer him money. Instead, she asked, what do you want to do? Daniel looked surprised. I want to start my own home repair business. Then let's figure out how. Together, they made a plan. Emma helped him build a simple business website and taught him how to advertise online. She introduced him to people who needed reliable repair work. But she never told anyone she was helping him. Within months, Daniel had more customers than he could handle. One evening, he came to Emma's house with his 3 sons. Noah handed her a small envelope. What is this? Emma asked. Open it. Inside was a handmade card. On the front were 4 simple words. Thank you for believing. Emma opened it. Inside, Noah had written, You made Daddy happy again. Emma's eyes filled with tears. Daniel looked embarrassed. I didn't know he wrote that. Emma looked at the 3 boys. Then she looked at Daniel. I think I finally understand something. What? All my life, I thought being successful meant having more. She smiled through her tears. But maybe real success is having someone who feels safer because you're in their life. Daniel reached for her hand. Emma squeezed it. Years later, Daniel's repair company became successful enough to employ several workers. Emma continued running her company, but she also started a foundation that helped single parents gain job training and affordable childcare. And whenever someone asked why she created it, she always told them the same story. The most important blind date of my life taught me that kindness doesn't ask what someone owns. It asks what someone needs. Emma never forgot the night Daniel walked into that restaurant with 3 little boys. She could have judged him. She could have walked away. Instead, she chose kindness. And that small choice changed everything. Sometimes, we never know what battle another person is fighting. The tired cashier may be caring for a sick parent. The quiet neighbor may be grieving. The single father struggling with 3 children may simply need someone to treat him with dignity. Kindness doesn't have to be expensive. Sometimes it's a smile. Sometimes it's patience. Sometimes it's simply saying, sit down. You're welcome here. And sometimes, one small act of kindness can become the beginning of an entirely new life. So the next time you meet someone who seems overwhelmed, don't be so quick to judge. Give them grace. Give them a chance. Because you never know when your smallest act of kindness might become the brightest moment in someone else's darkest day. And remember, the world doesn't need more perfect people. It needs more kind ones.